Welcome to Who Are You? Curious Stories of Family Lore. I'm Weetzie,
And I'm Sam
and this is
Ivy.
Family Ghost Lore. I don't know, what is this episode
I
about, Sam?
mean, I guess
You're in
it's like
charge.
it's some of my Maryland local lore. But yeah, I got inspired by the episode of you, telling some local New York lore and like the Virginia lore that you were able to discover when you went on your trip. So it
Oh,
made me
yeah.
want to like dive down the rabbit hole because as much as I love and hate Maryland, it does have some creepy, spooky stories.
And it's where you're from, it's your stomping grounds. It's where your ancestors are from. And so I think it's really important to like step back and be like, what has been going on here in this place that I'm from? And
Hmm.
what ghost stories can we derive from it? Because we both grew up with ghost stories. Everybody grows up with ghost stories. But it's really cool to be able to talk and do research and explore those and find facts to maybe some of those word of mouth stories that we grew up like with. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
No, I have like three stories to tell today. Um, One of them is kind of just like a legend, like not necessarily like a proven fact story. Other ones is kind of like an urban legend that I'm pretty sure is told in other states, but this is just Maryland's version of the urban legend. And
Awesome.
then the third story that's going to be my last story is actually something that's 15 minutes away from my house that I can always go visit next time you're in town.
We could do a live show from there or something.
Yeah, dude. All right, so this first article, like I said, is the Ghost Dogs, the Blue Dog Legend. So, one of the oldest ghost stories in America's history is the tale of the Blue Dog Legend. Like many a great ghost story, it involves buried treasure, murder, and more. Blue Dog Legend, setting the scene. The story of Blue Dog Legend takes place in the tiny town of Port Tobacco, Maryland. Nowadays,
Port
this town is,
Tobacco.
yeah, Port Tobacco. I think it's like 30, 40 minutes away from me. I've definitely driven through it. It's definitely more of like an old, kind of rustic area. But they have upgraded a little bit since.
That's pretty cool though. Port Tobacco just sounds like I'm getting off the boat. It's the turn of the century. I'm fleeing some sort of situation in my home country, and I arrive to America and I see Port of Tobacco. I can
Yep.
smell it.
And
I can
tobacco used to be
smell it.
such a big trade back in the day, especially in this area. Like, we still have a bunch of tobacco farms. But it says nowadays this town is small with a population of approximately about 2,500, but its deep roots date back over 300 years. So, the tale of the Blue Dog. The tale centers around a pair of pals, Charles Thomas Sims, a recently retired soldier who fought in the Revolutionary War, and his blue tick coonhound, whose name has been lost to time. While Sims wasn't a soldier of fortune, he did spend a night at a tavern drunkenly boasting about his own fortune. His loose lips let slip, but he had a bag of gold and a deed to some prime property in his possession. Unfortunately for the pair, some local patrons of the bar decided that Sims' fortune ought to be their own. When Sims and his furry friend left the bar that night, a Port Tobacco local named Henry Hanos, which might have butchered that, but that's fine, led a small group in silent pursuit. After traveling away down Rose Hill Road in the dark of night, Hanos and his friends accosted Charles in an attempt to steal the gold and the deed.
They're trying to
During
mug
the
him.
encounter, huh?
So basically, like, this guy's at the bar bragging, like, "Ah, fucking gold, bitches," and all like, "Oh,
Yep, it's
that's
just him and his dog chilling at the
interesting."
bar, just being like, "Yeah, I got
Okay.
this gold, like I got
This
this
is
deed, I got this fortune," and then locals that are just not as well off are hearing this like sold ex-soldier boast about it. They're like, "Nah, screw you, dude. I want that. I can take that
so,
from you."
and this is the guy with the blue tick healer
Yep,
dog.
yep,
Okay.
posted, yep. So, where did it say? Hannah's friends caustic, blah, 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 blah. During the encounter, Sims was killed, and when his hound tried to protect him, the group turned on the dog, too.
Oh no! Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God! I feel like a you. Remember when I was talking about Buddy and you're like, "Oh no, it's a dog!"
Yep,
Like,
yep.
I just had a moment where it's a very delayed reaction. We knew this was about a dog and a ghost dog, but for some reason, I just didn't think that this was going and they would have anything to do with this dog. Okay,
Right,
anyways,
right.
I'm here. God damn.
All right. So to safeguard their new acquisitions, Hanos and his crew buried the gold and the deed under a rock along Rose Hill Road, planning to dig it up later after suspicions for Sim's disappearance, went away.
Wait, so
However,
they killed the dog and this guy?
they killed the dog and the guy, they stole his money and deed, and they buried it right on the same road they killed him on, just so they didn't take it all away real quick, so that way when he disappeared, back in the day, they only could just, do so much detective work, so that way they
Yeah.
didn't seem suspicious.
There's no DNA database.
Yep. So, but it says here, however, upon returning to the spot where they buried the treasure, Hanos found it guarded by the ghost of Sim's hound. It was large and blue and scared Hanos away. In fact, it is said it scared Hanos so badly that he fell ill the next day and soon passed away.
Good.
No one ever saw the bag of gold or the deed again, but plenty of people have said they've seen the legendary blue dog.
That's crazy. Have you ever seen the dog?
I have never been here, actually. This was just upon discovery that I realized that this was a thing.
Oh, that's so cool, then. All the more reason for us to go.
Mm-hmm. But it says here, sightings of the blue dog have been reported in the area for centuries. The legend of the blue dog is one of the oldest ghost stories in the United States history. If you're looking for a spooky tale, look no further than the blue dog legend of Port Tobacco, Maryland.
That's so crazy. It's one of the oldest ghost stories. So what was the time frame? Sorry, I missed that. I was still caught off guard.
It doesn't really have a time frame other than during the Revolutionary War time frame, because it says that he fought in the Revolutionary War.
Okay, so that would be, let me think about this. The Revolutionary War took place during like the late 1700s, 1770, 70s, almost. Okay. 1775.
Okay.
The Revolutionary War took place from April 19th, 1775 until September 3rd, 1783. 8 years? Damn.
This was somewhere after 1783.
Okay, because he was bragging about his money he made from fighting in the
his deed, all that shit, all the land I guess he got for fighting in it. And then it's weird that they killed him, buried it, and the money in the deed was never seen again. Like, no one claimed that land, no one... But if you go to that area, apparently you have that presence of the dog.
That is so cool. If anybody has ever been to Port Tobacco, Maryland, and seen this dog, or seen anything that could be a blue dog, let us know. Right in. Are there any stories that, sightings of the dog?
There's not with the article that I found, but they did say there have been many sightings throughout the centuries.
That's crazy. That just, appears as, this blue dog?
Yeah, they said that you will hear, barking, and, you'll sometimes happen to see, a shadow or, the blue presence of the dog in person, around the area that he was murdered.
That's crazy.
He's
so you don't
guarding his treasure.
You don't mess with people's dogs.
Nah, dude. And it's ironic, too, that the dude that did all this died the next day.
Oh, I believe in, curses.
I mean, that's the same with, the Annabelle doll and stuff.
Oh, my God. That thing's crazy. That is so weird. And I just can't... What is that comedian dude? To me, that guy's name
Matt
that
Riff.
bought that?
Matt Reef.
Matt Raff?
Yeah,
whatever his name is. If you've ever seen the blue dog from Port Tobacco, Maryland, write in. Or any, ghost animals. Oh.
Yeah.
That kind of ties into our ghost buddy as well. The little rat-a-tat-tat.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah, little paws.
All right, so the second story I have is the Goat Man of Prince George's County. And this is a story that I feel like has many, lores in other states of goat men.
All right.
So, It says here, according to most accounts, the goat man is a half man, half animal with the same bodily structure of the classic Greek satyr, such as Pan. Standing at 6 feet tall, he supposedly walks around on two hooves, his hair all over his body, lurks in darkness with bright eyes. To make his presence known, he makes squealing noises before striking his prey, either pets or people.
Ooh. So he attacks
Yeah.
pets too?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know what I'm learning about Maryland vicariously through these stories? Pets are not off limits.
No, they do not care.
That's wild. Those ghosts are no joke with those pets. Or people too, because they killed the pet. Anyways, continue.
Animals are innocent.
I know. Until you turn into a hybrid cryptid and start killing pets, then you're not innocent, goat man.
So it says here, whether real or imagined, the goat man became part of local lore in Prince George's County and took off in the 1970s. Penn State Harrisburg professor of folklore David Pugley, which I probably butchered that, sorry, believes the burst of interest can be tracked back to a student project at the University of Maryland in 1971. That spring, student George Lisma investigated 8 popular goatman legends in Clinton, Maryland for his folklore class project. He
Ooh,
interviewed peers, right?
that's cool.
He interviewed peers, including 18-year-old Patricia Alsadro. I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry, but they're hard. Who shared a popular version of the Goatman legend. It explained that the Goatman was an old man with a face of a goat and body of a man who warded people from his bridge. Warded people from his bridge. Governor's Bridge, also known as Crybaby Bridge in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And he only did
Wow.
this during full moons.
Ooh, oh my
Says the
gosh, and tonight's
Goatman.
a blood moon. Tonight's a
Is
full
it?
blood moon. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's spooky. Oh my God. Oh my God. And this is Marlboro, Maryland. The other one was
Yeah,
Port
Upper
Tobacco.
Marlboro.
You
Yep.
guys like your cigarettes and melons.
We do. But it said the Goatman would also perform violent and deadly attacks, such as forcing cars off roads, killing people with no trace, and smashing car windows, but without making a sound.
Dang.
After this project was finished in May of 1971, his professor integrated the interviews into the university's folklore archive. Prince George's County News journalist Karen Holzer then stumbled upon the project when searching for the archives for an enticing story. A few days before Halloween that fall, Holzer published an article entitled University Archives Reveal Bowman, Goatman, and the Ghost Still Haunt Area. Apparently based on this Lisma's research. Rather than basing the Goatman in Clinton, however, she reported the beast's presence in Bowie, subsequently leading Bowie's residents, especially teens, to circulate the story. It was likely that Bowie residents had heard the rumor of Goatman before the story came out, but Hoser's article seemed to have given the legend a new fire. So, in this article, reporter Ivan Goldman detailed the gruesome fate of the Edwards puppy and attempted to explain why the Goatman story seemed to resonate so deeply with those in Prince George's County. In quotations, it says, "No one seems to know just when the legend started. Everyone agrees it is an old one that periodically dies down, then revives."
Those are like the most magical stories, though, because it's like something that happens either politically or socially triggers the resurgence of certain tales. And it's like, why? Why are certain tales revitalized during certain points in time? So this article is kind of like posing that question. Yeah.
But I just think it's ironic and funny, especially because, like, I love the movie or the documentary Urban Legends or Killer Legends
Mm-hmm.
that's out there, and it goes, like, into all those details and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they had, like, a Goatman of Jersey or something on there. And
Yes. Or the Jersey Devil is what I'm thinking
yeah,
of.
something like that, but something kind of equivalency.
Yeah, I've heard of like a Goatman story before, maybe even with a bridge. But what's weird, I guess, the question is, for me, the question is, just because these things exist in multiple places, does it make them any less true? If a cryptid or spectral being, if their generation point is by a bridge, well, there are a lot of spooky bridges all across the country. why can't there be the same multiple, like the same type of cryptid? You know, because if you believe in one cryptid, you have to give credence to other cryptids. I think that there's a thing called, like, I think Bigfoot could exist. I think that could be a
I feel like
species, you know, that we don't know about.
all stories get over exaggerated over time. It's like a bad game of telephone, but every story originated
Yeah.
from some form of truth. You know,
Yes,
something had to occur for it to have resonated from.
exactly. And I love that you say that because it's like as I'm researching ancestry, tying it all back to the podcast, as we've been researching my ancestry and you've been researching and we've been doing all these things, I've been noticing that I've been finding discrepancies with the word of mouth tales that have been told. Like
Yep.
just my name Wheatsy is the perfect example of that. In the very first episode, you hear what I think it means, and then you end up hearing, which I probably not yet. I haven't put it together. So after this, you're going to hear an interview with my grandma, and we talk about Weedsea, and I do more research, and I find out what it really means and what it came from. And the word of mouth
It's
stories that she knows, that she says that she grew up with, are different than what I'm finding
well,
with like record wise, you know? So it's like,
yeah.
which way
Well,
does it
this whole
go?
experience and like this whole podcast is like having a puzzle without all the pieces, man. And we're
Yeah,
slowly just like unfolding all the pieces and making it make sense.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's good to talk about cryptids and talk about ghosts and these folk tales because they are just different echoes of family stories. They are lived experiences. They're passed down word of mouth, and then we have to go and look for them on the internet in the deep crevasses of the interwebs, if you will. I went to the library. We went to the public library. We got a library card, and I got a couple books, and I've been doing some research, and so, you know, this has provoked a lot of reflection, and I think that's interesting that we can tie it back even to the Goat Man of what is it, Marble County on a
Prince
bridge?
George's, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, so this last story that I have is actually 100% a true story. Um, like I said, this legend of this woman is literally 15 minutes, if not 10 minutes away from my house, where you can go
Oh
visit this
yeah.
spot.
Yes.
And she was a legit person. So,
Okay. So have you been able to like find her?
well, like I said, so this article is about like I'll get into it. I'll
Okay.
get into
All
it.
right. All right. I'm jumping the gun.
You're good. It's just the article answers the question slightly.
Let's go.
All right. So, third and final story I have is the legend of Mull Dyer and Mull Dyer Rock.
Ooh, why does this sound familiar?
Because she was a well-known witch.
Oh,
So it
okay.
says here, and this is right over in Leonardtown, by the way.
Oh my gosh. And how far away are you from Leonardtown?
Like I said, 10, 15 minutes. It's right by my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
coffee shop. So
Oh my God.
it says here, the famous Mull Dyer Rock, on which Mull Dyer reportedly froze to death on a bitterly cold night, February night in 1698, can be found at Tuber Hall. According to the legend, Mull Dyer was believed to have been a witch. During the long winter of 1697/98, she was blamed for a plague of influenza that caused many deaths in St. Mary's County. A mob of villagers set fire to her small hut in the woods just south of what is now Leonardtown.
Ooh.
She escaped both the
Oh,
fire and the mob and was found several days later laying frozen to a large rock.
damn. She escaped all of that just to be
Yep.
frozen on a rock.
Now it says
Uh,
here, when her body was removed, on the stone an imprint of her right hand remained. And it's still there to this day.
Wow.
Townspeople saw this as a curse she placed on the area.
Oh. Now, please excuse the momentary pause. No
Alright,
pun
shut.
intended.
So it says here, the legend of Mull Dyer and her alleged curse has persisted for centuries. Touching the rock is rumored to cause misfortune from simple dizziness to illness.
Oh,
Yeah. And if you go in this area, like, you can feel the heavy energy. Like, I've never gone up and touched the rock myself. Like, before I even knew it was there, it always felt weird in that area.
I was gonna ask you if you've ever touched the rock. You do understand that we need to touch the rock, right?
I know. Oh, I know.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that you are aware of what's
Says
gonna have to happen.
Muldair was a real person. She and her two brothers, who were indentured servants from Devon, England,
Oh
settled
wow.
first. Yeah, first settled in the West Indies, moving later to Maryland. The Dyer family line can be traced to St. Mary's County down to today. In
Wow, okay.
1972, the rock was found by newspaperman Philip Love in the woods near Muldair Road and moved to Leonardtown. Old Jail. So it's by the old jail. Sorry. That
Oh.
was just not meant to be there. Leonardtown Old Jail.
Why are
Improperly
they moving
protected
this
from,
rock?
because I guess they didn't want it in the area. And it's literally right down the road. They did not move it far. I think they moved it because Leonardtown and where it's at in the square is more historic Leonardtown. So they preserve
Okay,
shit.
gotcha. Nice. I love that. It's more historic. They preserve shit. They moved it to preserve it.
But it says improperly protected from the elements, it gradually eroded over the years. In order to preserve it for the future generations, the St. Mary's County Historic History or Historical Society, along with the commissioners of the town of Leonardtown and St. Mary's County Commissions, relocated it to the hall and covered it with proper protection. So that's the story of Muldair's Rock. It was back in like the ancient she's a witch time.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember hearing about the imprint, like the hand, and
Mm-hmm.
that story. I think maybe you told me,
I
probably
think I gave you
many.
like a brief rundown, like when I first
Oh
moved
my
back to Maryland.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know. I think the witch just pushed my computer over. It's not a computer, it's an iPad. But that
Well, the
was
next time
weird.
you come and visit, we're gonna have to go down and check out Muldair.
Yeah, that's cool. Add that to our bucket list.
It
Yeah.
makes me want to go to Salem even more. But yeah, that's all the stories I have to share
That was
for now.
good. Those yes, for now.
Another story I'll tell for a different episode is about a murder that happened in my high school like years ago, and like how I have personal encounters in my high school of hearing like heels walk up and down the hall when no one is there.
Oh my
But
God.
that'll be a story
Yeah.
for another day.
We will have a story of haunted high school ghosts because that's cool. There's some stories that I could tell about my elementary school, really, as I have firsthand experiences in my
Mm-hmm.
elementary school, but we could gather some stories that my dad could tell of
Have
his high
school
school.
experiences.
Yeah, that because it'd be good for back to school, but we're a little late. Maybe next year. But
Mm-hmm.
I think those are some pretty good stories. Nice um look into the ghosts of Maryland and now a little bit of
Yeah.
upstate New York lore to go with it.
Hopefully, just gave y'all a little bit of a taste. Like I said, I know not everything was super detailed, but maybe I'll make you want to do a little bit more research yourself. Check them out, pay some homage.
Yeah, I think they were good. They painted a picture, and it makes me want to go and discover some of these places with you. I don't know if I'll actually touch the rock because I don't want
Right.
misfortune. Um,
I mean, it says dizziness or illness, so
what was her name?
Muldair.
That's such a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
You are kind of meant to be historically remembered as a witch with the last name Muldair. Get out
That
of
first
here.
name Mole, last name Dyer.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, her name was Mull?
Yep. Mole and then Dyer, because the Dyer line is still in Maryland.
I definitely thought that the last name was Muldair the entire time. So that's crazy. So her name was Mull. Oh my God, poor Mull. Freezing to death to a
To
rock?
survive a mob, to survive a fire, all your stuff's burned down, and then to run out of breath and lay down on a rock and never wake up again.
That is
All
crazy.
because you were blamed for an influenza.
They blamed her for other people getting sick. Hey, that's why
Mm-hmm.
vaccines are important, guys. Like, damn. But anyways, travel to Maryland, touch the rock, let us know what
Yeah,
happens.
we got lots of creepy history. Let me know if you're in the area.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for the listeners today?
Final thoughts is just take a look in your backyard, man. Take 10 seconds of your day, put down your phone, go do some research, figure out
Mm,
like what's spooky about your area.
yes, that's a great idea. We all love a good ghost story. And it's way cooler if you can go to it in a single day because you live near it. So,
Yeah.
well, anyways, with that being said, never stop asking yourself,
Who are you?
who are you? Not a clue yet, but I will be
Nope.
knowing soon.